Hello everybody! Today we're going to practice some basic hypothesis testing questions. So students always say, wow, this topic, I need to memorize a lot. So many different kind of situations and so confusing. Is there an easier way to do this? Yes! Let me teach you a small little trick. In hypothesis testing, we love the normal distribution. Having the normal distribution is like world peace. Everybody is happy. All our problems can be solved. And when you don't have normal distribution, that's when it's like two countries fighting a war. It's not the end of the world. We can still strive for world peace. If you can understand that, then I can simplify hypothesis testing for you. Let's go. So the first thing you should ask yourself when you receive a hypothesis testing question is the population normal? If yes, the sampling distribution is also normal. You just need to ask one more question. Do I know the population variance? If the answer is yes, then it's like in Cantonese what we say, sup soil. So this is the best possible ending where you use the population variance and you divide by the sample size. That will be your sampling variance. What happens when the answer is no? What you need to do is just to estimate what this is using the observed sample variance. What is observed sample variance? In every hypothesis testing question, there'll be one set of sample data. Use that set of sample data and calculate its variance. That variance that you calculated is the observed sample variance. And how do you use this to estimate? You need to use that observed sample variance and divide by n minus 1. Why divide by n minus 1? Maybe I'll talk about it in another video. Who are a bit more advanced, preparing for prelims, preparing for A levels, you know that we don't write this one. We actually write S squared. S squared is our unbiased estimator of population variance. Also, maybe in another video, what that means. So I just want you to compare what happens when the population is normal. You either get this or you get this. And the main takeaway I want you to have is whether you don't know the variance or know the variance, it's kind of the same, right? Just extra steps. What happens when the population is not normal? You need to ask another question. What is the sample size? If the sample size is large and under the syllabus, large is defined to be 30 and above. Why not 29 or 31? Okay, again, maybe I'll explain in another video. But if it's 30 and above, we get to use this secret weapon called central limit theorem. What is central limit theorem? You can pretend that things are normal again. So it's like two countries are fighting a war. Then you say, hey, wait, guys, stop. Let's have some peace talks. During the peace talks, they will cease fire, they will not fight. It's not really world peace, but it's very close. So under central limit theorem, our sampling mean distribution is very close to normal. And once it's close to normal, we do exactly the same thing as we did earlier on. We just ask one more question, which is, do I know the population variance? If you do, good. If you don't, that's just one extra step. But you must remember that this is not really a normal distribution, it's only approximate, and you need to quote that you use central limit theorem. But what happens when the sample size is small? Strictly speaking, this part is out of the H2 Maths syllabus. Okay? You've been wondering, hey, if it's out of syllabus, why are you talking about it? Because, you know lah, sometimes in exams they shoot pattern until things that you don't need to know, you still need to know a little bit. So this is a little bit that you need to know. If the sample size is small, you still need to ask, do I know the population variance? If the answer is yes, you may need to state certain assumptions to carry out the test, which is, I will assume that the population that I sampled from is normal. If that is the case, then I can carry out my hypothesis test. Yeah. Usually this doesn't come out. They will phrase it in some other ways, which we'll see in further practice questions. If the worst of the worst, okay, population not normal, sample size is small, and I don't know the variance, so that's like a no, and no. This is where I say, hey, I never take F-Maths. Wow, song. This is under non-parametric tests, where we don't have a normal distribution and sample sizes are small. Then if you are a H2 Maths student, you don't take F-Maths, then you can laugh at your F-Maths friends. Say, haha, see lah, kyang tio ho lah. Who asked you to go and take one more subject? Then if you're an MS student, don't feel so bad lah. Mr. Wu last time also take F-Maths. Quite interesting one. So that is my flowchart. Let's take a look at the practice questions.